Hi everyone, I'm Terry, and this is the Yarnjoy podcast, episode number 186. Welcome. Well, I have a couple of, three finished objects to show you today, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, you might be able to count it as 4. And then a couple of works in progress. And so let's just get started and I'll show you what I got done. Okay, so for my finished objects, I have done the first two Preemie hats of the year to be donated to the hospital area NICU department. This is for a Halloween hat drive for this year of 2021, and so my goal was to create 40 hats this year instead of 30, and so I've made my first 2, and let me show you which ones I made. Okay, so I made it's the same pattern but 2 different sizes, and it is a Preemie penguin hat. And now this one is super tiny. The pattern is from Crochet.com. Okay, so here is the first one. There's the little penguin hat. Look how tiny it is. Oh my goodness. This is supposed to be for a 1 to 3 pound baby, Preemie baby. Okay. And now I used the hook size that it called for, but I used Caron Simply Soft yarn, and so I'm thinking that's why maybe it turned out a little bit smaller than what I was thinking it was going to, because Caron Simply Soft is a number 4 worsted weight yarn, but it is a little thinner than other number 4 weight yarn. But anyway, that's what I used for this one. So there's my first one for the year, and then I made the next size up. Now Cream of the Crop Crochet.com has these Preemie hat patterns, but they do have it in several sizes. They have it like 3 different sizes as far as the weights of baby. I think they have like 1 to 3 pounds, 3 to 5 pounds, and 6 to 8. No, I can't remember. But then they also have newborn size. Okay, and so I did the next size up, which was 3 to 5 pound, and so this is the one I did for that one. Okay, so that is my first 2 hats. Let me hold them up together for 2021 for the Halloween hat drive. Okay, oh, and I used a G hook for these, and I will link the pattern in the description box below. Free patterns. Okay, and like I said, they do make them in newborn size if you just like the design of the hat, but you want to make it a full-term newborn size. Okay, that is finished objects 1 and 2, I guess, and then finished object number 2. The next one, different project, not duplicates, is this is a crochet along that I started taking part in. I'm not hosting it, but it is being hosted by Jill of Fiber Floozy, okay, and I will link her channel below. Well, actually, I'll link the video where she is talking, like the intro video, whatever she's talking about this crochet along. Now, she started it a couple months ago, I think, and so I'm just doing it now, and so I'm having to play catch up, which is fine because there's a pretty good period of time. I don't remember exactly if she had a set schedule and on how often she's going to release these items, but the name of the crochet along is called B Squared, and so it's squares, and each square is a different stitch. Okay, so it's a good learn a stitch type crochet along as well. Okay, well, I did the first square. Oh, and the total squares are going to be, I think, 63 squares in the whole entire crochet along, so it's big enough to make like a blanket, I guess, for a bed or something, I suppose. I don't know what I can't remember what she said the finished size it was, but she does say it, I think, in the introductory video that I will link below. But anyway, my thoughts is I'm going to make the squares, but I'm going to, instead of put 63 squares together, which would be like 7 by 9, I guess, squares, and the squares are like 7-inch squares, or that's the size that she was getting. Okay, well, I'm going to just divide up those squares and make several small blankets, like lap gowns, probably, with mine. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so, and my square, the one I just did not turn out to be 7 inches, but I know that's just my tension and gauge, I guess. Okay, so the number 1 square is just a simple single crochet square, but I thought since it was just a single crochet square, I think it got it, I'm holding it sideways there, I think, is that right? I decided to do, let me look at it. Okay, this way. Yeah. I decided to use a variegated yarn for it, just to kind of add some little pizzazz to the square, since it was just a single crochet, basic single crochet square. Okay, so she did say that the first few squares were going to be very simple stitch type squares, but then as we went along, it was going to have some different stitch patterns to do. And I believe she just released square number 7. I think it was number 7, either 7 or 8 or something. In each video she does 2, or I think that's the way it's been going. She does 2 squares, shows you the stitch in each video. Okay, so I'm behind. This is just number 1, but no hurry. You know, I mean, I'm not in a hurry to get them done. But I thought this would be a good scrap buster. Okay, and now, like I said, mine turned out to be 6.5 inches wide, and then I did the prescribed rows, and because it's like 25 stitches across and 25 rows, and so that sounds like that's supposed to make a square piece, right? But I guess my tension is way off or something, because mine ended up being 6.5 inches wide, but then the height was not 6.5 inches. It wasn't square yet, so I actually had to add some rows until I just got it where it was measuring square, which is no problem. I mean, like I said, everybody's tension is different, and so no fault of Jill's, because that does 25 stitches across and 25 rows for single crochet should be a square. And so I don't know what happened to mine. But anyway, I just kept going until it was a square, and then what I did is this border that goes around the whole entire thing, she says like how many stitches you should have around, like how many on each side, and then what to do in the corners for the border. And so I just added the stitches and kind of when I worked down the sides or whatever, I ended up, or I made sure to end up with the same amount of stitches that she said to end up on. So, so I think that's fine. So anyway, I decided to do a variegated, like I said. This is Karen Simply Soft. I want to say maybe Oceana or something like that. I'm not sure. But I have several of these skeins that were given to me, and so I'm going to use those. Plus, I've got some solids of those colors, like the green, kind of a lime greenish, and the 2 different types of blues or aquas. And so I'm going to use some of the solid colors also to pick that are picked out of this variegated mix. And I did go around the border, which she said you can do in a solid color, so that way when I stitch them together, I'm going to be using the white, since I did white around the edges. When I stitch them together, I think in her video she just continued on with the same color, whatever square, the color of the square she was using. But she did say that you could add when you did that border all the way around it, that you can do it in whatever color you're going to be joining the squares with. So that's what I decided to do, so then I could unite all the different squares together. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about this crochet along. I think it'll be fun. It's a good stash buster, and go over and support Jill on her channel. If you haven't subscribed to the Fiber Floozy, go ahead and subscribe to her channel, and let's participate in this cowl. I think it'll be fun. Like I said, it'll be a great stash buster, and it'll be a way to learn some new stitches. Okay, so that is finished object because I finished the square, but it's a work in progress because I'm going to keep making more squares, right? Anyway, so whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that is that project. Now the next finished object is the nativity set. Okay, so let me show you the box. I gotta bend down here and get it. It was under my desk. Okay, so this is the nativity set that I purchased off of Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click through that link, it'll help me just a tiny bit with no extra cost to you. Okay, so regardless on if you purchase the item or not, just if you click on it and go to Amazon and then go do your own Amazon shopping or whatever, you don't have to buy this particular kit, but it's really cool though if you want to. Okay, so I am doing this nativity set throughout this year. I'm not doing one per month. I'm just going to do them as I can do them to get them finished. I really want to get them finished before December, you know, and so I've already did the first character and started my second one. So let me show you the finished object part. Now let me talk about this kit though. The kit comes with enough yarn to make baby Jesus and Mary, okay? And then there is a booklet inside, and it has 12 patterns in total, starting with baby Jesus and Mary, but then it's got 10 other objects, okay? And so let me show you the inside picture here. There's one picture that shows almost all the characters in the set right here. Okay, so there it is. You can see all those characters. Okay, and the only thing extra is there's an angel, and then there's the Bethlehem star. There's a pattern for those two. Besides that, these are all the characters, and then those other two. Okay, so there is Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, and then there's a shepherd, the 3 wise men, a camel, a donkey, a sheep, an angel, and there's the star Bethlehem. Okay, that pattern, and I think that's it. I think I got it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm working on this pattern, or this kit, and so I have finished baby Jesus. That was the first object to do, the first pattern. And so here is my baby Jesus, if you can see that. Can you see him? And he does come out of his little manger there. Now, I do have a little bit of a tip. There was some people that were having trouble with the manger twisting, you know, and not laying flat. And yes, I did have the same exact problem. It did twist, but there's a part in the an optional piece in that pattern where it says optional to do a lining that goes on the inside of the in the inside of the crib, his bed. And but make sure you do that, because it was really twisting and warped. It was like warped really bad. Sorry. And so I did that lining, put the lining in there, and then when you do see the bottom has these 2 rectangles there for like the feet of the manger or the cradle, and if you use that and sew it through that liner or mattress type thing on the inside, okay, if you sew all through that and all through the layers, that helps to kind of give it some more body, and so it really helps to straighten it out. I did have to twist it kind of the other direction a little bit to get it straightened out a little bit, but it helps it a whole lot, okay? So there is baby Jesus, and he does have a tiny little face. If you can see him, I'll put him up there close, see? Okay. Okay, so that is the first object in the nativity set. Okay, and that is a finished object in of itself. Okay, now let's go on to works in progress, and I will continue with this nativity set. So my works in progress is that I'm starting Mary right here, okay, and here is my progress on her so far. So that's what I've got so far. And I just started her today. And so I've got to do a trim around the bottom of her dress, I think. And then, of course, everything else, her veil, and I think she's got some hair under there. I'm not sure. The veil may be connected and you don't see the hair. And her arms, of course. But anyway, so that is works in progress number 1. Okay, and this is still using the yarn that came in the set, so I hadn't started to have to add my own yarn yet. Okay, so that is works in progress number 1. Works in progress number 2 is I'm making another of the friendly elephants. This is from the Friendly Red Fox Designer. That's her designer website name. And I'm about to lose a stitch here. Let me pull this up before it pulls out. Okay, I got it. Okay, so this is, let me pull this. Okay, this is what I've done so far. Okay, so I've got his legs, and then I am now continuing up with the body. And in fact, I am just did my first row of decreases to go to kind of work my way up to the neck area. So that's what I've done so far, and I've started filling him. I need to stuff him up some more. Before I continue on. But anyway, this is a commission that somebody was wanting me to do this for them. So that is what I've done so far. So if you're watching that in person that was wanting me to do this, here you go. It's going. This tail right there has got to be weaved in, I see. But anyway, here it is. Okay, and I am using an E-hook for this, and I believe that's what is actually called for in the pattern. An E-hook is a 3.5 millimeter if you go by just millimeters, okay? Okay, so that is my second works in progress, and that is all my works in progress. I did not work on the Sea Life blanket, which is going to be for my upcoming grandbaby. But I will get back on that for this upcoming week, okay? So let's go on to upcoming, and I'll let you know what's ongoing and upcoming. So ongoing is I filmed my first Whipwall Wednesday episode of this year, and I did that yesterday, and it's already posted and up on my channel. And so I picked out a new project for that. I'm looking at it, but if you want to see what the project is, go over and watch my Whipwall Wednesday. There'll be episode number 20. I'll link it below in the description box. But anyway, I've got that picked out. Haven't started stitching on it yet, but I've got the project picked out, so I'm ready. An example of going back in your notebook, because if you saw my 2021 goals, that I have a little notebook, project notebook that I use, that I keep track of the patterns, you know, the pattern name and where to find it, and also the hook size I used, because this project that I'm working on for Whipwall Wednesday, I had not worked on it since May of 2019, I think. Well, that's when I started it, and I can't remember how long it took me to finish. But anyway, it was the middle of 2019, and so then it's been sleeping ever since on my Whipwall. And so and there was no hook in the bag with it, and so I had to go back and find it in my project book to see what hook size I used, because I had no idea what I used. And I was kind of surprised, because I wrote down that I used an I hook, and for this project, I didn't think it would have been an I. I would have thought it would have been a smaller hook, but that's what I wrote down, so that's what I'm going to be using. So anyway, so that it just shows you an example of what keeping a project journal is very helpful for. It doesn't have to be real detailed. Like I said, I just do the year, you know. Well, I did a little bit more detailed this past year, and I liked it, so I'm going to continue that. So the projects are divided up into like months. I don't put the day that I start and the day that I finish, but at least I know in the month of January these projects were started. It's like that's the starting time. So that, the pattern itself, what it is, where to find that pattern, like the website or whatever to find that pattern, or what book it came out of, and then also the hook size. That's all I'm keeping track of. And then when I finish it, I put a check next to it. So it's just very helpful, because I have people that will say, you know, can you make whatever? I mean, like okay, say Milo the monkey. I've made like 3 of those, and there had been a pretty big break between the last time I had made him versus this most recent time. So I did have to go back in my book to find out if I had changed the hook size, because sometimes I don't go by the hook size that's in the pattern. I remember exactly where the pattern came from. In fact, it was from the Friendly Red Fox, which the Friendly Elephant, this one, is the same person. But sometimes I do change the hook size in a pattern. Sometimes I don't. So, but I make sure that I write down the exact hook that I use, regardless of what the pattern said. Anyway, I think it's very helpful to keep a some sort of a project list somewhere to remind you what hook you used and where that pattern was too. Okay, off my soapbox there. Okay, so that is ongoing, is the fact that I've got a new Whipwall Wednesday episode out. I also just did a room tour. In fact, it was so thorough that I had to divide it up into 2 parts. And so I have that posted on my channel as well. Room tour number 1 and room tour number 2. I noticed that I had a bunch of views on the first room tour, but not as many, I mean, a good amount, but not as many on the second one. So it's like there was more people that watched part 1, but then they didn't watch part 2. They might have thought I was being too long or too thorough or too boring. I don't know. But one thing I did notice is I had the same exact thumbnail on each one, except in the description of the title of the video, it did say part 1 and part 2. But I thought, well, maybe if the thumbnail was, since it was the same, they thought it was a duplicate posting. I'm not sure, but I went ahead and changed the thumbnail on the part 2, so that way it looks different. Anyway, I don't know. Just in case there was a confusion. I don't know. Maybe it was just boring and nobody wanted to watch it, which is fine. Okay, so those 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, are up on my channel, and I can link them below as well. Okay. And then on upcoming is square number 2 on the B Squared cowl. That's hosted by Jill of the Fiber Floozy. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to start on that one. And let's see what else. Oh, I got a text message from my niece last night and wanted to know, she wanted her son, which is my great nephew, is having a birthday this month, and so she was wanting to know if I can make one of those Among Us characters. They're like, I had to ask my son about it, what it was, and they're like little astronauts or something, but they're in a video game, real popular right now, I guess. Anyway, she asked me if I could make a red one, and so I know Ella of No Catchy Name had made some, and so so I'm going to be starting that and making that little character for him. His birthday is toward the end of this month, the 20th, I think, or the 25th. I have it written down. But anyway, I need to get started on that, and so I can make it for him. So that's upcoming. And then also, I've noticed that, you know, my Vlogmas project, which it was that scrappy rectangle granny blanket, I miss working on it. I really do. It's like I miss having a scrappy project to do. So I may have to start, I don't know what I'll do. Oh, but that leads me into this, what I wanted to talk about, this subject here, not subject, but topic, whatever. But I was given this journal. Isn't that cool? It's the Emerald City. I love it, from Wizard of Oz. And on the back it says, there's no place like home, and it's got the little ruby slippers. Isn't that cute? And then on the inside cover, it's got this picture from the Wizard of Oz. That is awesome. And let's see, anything else is different. And on the back inside cover, it's got that same scene, see? And, oh, and then on the inside where it says property of, there's a different picture, see right there? But besides that, all the pages, they're lined pages, and they're just, I mean, no more pictures, that's it. Anyway, I was given this journal. I have no idea where she got it, but it's awesome. I was given this journal from Terri. She has a YouTube channel, but she don't have that many videos on there. But a lot of the YouTubers are very familiar with Terri because she's such a sweet girl or woman, young woman, and she loves to send, she's so thoughtful, and she loves to send Happy Mail to us YouTubers. So she sent me this in a box that was for my birthday, because I had sent her a birthday box, and so she sent me a birthday box, and this was in it. And so what I'm using this journal for, I was wanting to use it, but I was thinking, oh, but it's so nice. I don't want to, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to use it. I wanted to use it for something that I would keep, you know, not like a disposable type thing, like record keeping or something. I decided not to use it for that. But what I'm using it for right now is I'm using it for ideas, or actually, I've only started on the first page, and I am writing scrap patterns that I thought would be something that could be a scrap project. See? So I just like search scrap crochet patterns or something, and so I think it led me to a Pinterest page, and you know how you can go down the Pinterest rabbit hole and be there forever. But anyway, I have made a list of different patterns that I thought would be cool projects to use with scrap yarn. So that's what I'm doing, and I thought I could use it for video ideas or like I said, patterns that I want to do in the future. So anyway, that's what I'm using it for. Okay, so like I said, I've kind of missed doing that scrappy project, so I may have to grab one of those and of those patterns that I found and start something that could be just a slow and go project that I just work on a little bit and then I work on something else. You know, no pressure as when to get it finished, because I really miss those random colors adding into a project. It was really fun. Okay, so I'm just rambling and visiting now, I guess. I think that is it I was wanting to say. Welcome to my new subscribers, and thank you to my original subscribers that have stayed with me from the beginning. I appreciate it so much. I enjoy all of you so much. Being able to share my love for yarn and projects and crocheting with you. It's just fun. It's just like talking to a bunch of friends that love the things that I love. And so thank you so much to all the subscribers that have subscribed to my channel, and like I said, welcome to the new subscribers that I've recently gotten. And so if you've come upon my video and you haven't subscribed to me, well, please consider doing so, or join the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group, Yarnjoy Podcast, and we just share pictures and things of all the projects that we're working on and getting ideas from each other, advice from each other. I love hanging out over there because I can see pictures of your projects instead of you just seeing mine all the time. So anyway, like I said, consider subscribing to the channel and joining us in this Yarny community by following along on my projects and see what I'm doing. I'm hoping that I can inspire others to crochet, either to learn to crochet or pick up crocheting again, or give people pattern ideas. I know I love getting new ideas from people as far as new projects to try. So anyway, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.